Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this afternoon. I'm super excited for our session 3 here. Today, we're going to go over S/4HANA asset management and really go through and thorough what standard maintenance looks like. My name is Dan Anderson. I have an extensive background when it comes to EAM systems, as well as maintenance and reliability process improvement initiatives. I've worked about 30 years in the space. Started out of school with a company, DataStream, which is now Infor. And I've spent the past 20 years working in the maintenance and reliability, helping organizations really transform the way that they do maintenance as well as operations in support of their reliability initiatives. Um, of late, I work for Total Resource Management as a business solutions manager. Work very closely with Senthil in leading that practice, and I serve on the board of directors for SMRP. I serve as the vice chair as well as a director for the World Partners in Asset Management.
Hello everyone, my name is Senthil Kathirvel. I'm leading the SAP practice here at TRM. I'm an electrical and electronics engineer with an MBA in project management. I started my career in the manufacturing industry as a maintenance supervisor, then later promoted as a manager. I also played, electrical engineer roles primarily in the manufacturing industry. I started my SAP career 20 plus years ago and worked in primarily around asset management, plant maintenance, EAM, procurement, inventory management areas. And I have done more than 10 SAP certifications and did SAP consulting activities globally and currently with TRM and driving both delivery and also business development activities.
Thank you, Senthil. Just to provide a little bit background on TRM, we're really focused in digital and operational excellence for asset management. So we have expertise in both areas, the process side of things and the technology side of things. From a maintenance and reliability perspective, we provide consulting services, assessments, training, coaching, process improvement, even if it's just a PM optimization type project, or if it's a larger, more strategic cultural transformation project. We do that from our maintenance and reliability expertise and in partnership with IDCON. We have a technology practice that's dedicated to market leading EAM and APM solutions. We have a tremendous history when it comes to supporting clients through IBM Maximo. Senthil and I are dedicated to the SAP practice here at TRM. So really by combining the two, used to be that, back in the day, you'd focus on that process before introducing technology. But for what we've seen in today's day and age, you really can't wait for one or the other. And the clients that stay competitively at a competitive advantage are utilizing both. They're harnessing the technology, but then also focusing on proactive processes.
Okay, so let's talk about the demo topics of this seminar or webinar, sorry. So firstly, we will talk about the maintenance process models in S/4HANA. We also touched a little bit in our previous webinar. So there are different ways the maintenance processes can be modeled in S/4HANA. One is a simplified maintenance that we have covered in the previous one. And today we are going to talk about the standard maintenance process. This is the process that we are doing all these years in using SAP. But only thing, you'll be using Fiori application instead of transaction code to run this end-to-end process. There is also another process model called phase-based maintenance that we will be covering in our upcoming webinar session. So this is what we discussed just now, the simplified emergency maintenance, standard maintenance, and also the phase-based maintenance. But as I mentioned earlier, we will be talking about the standard maintenance primarily in this session. So this is the overall flow of a standard maintenance process. If you are using SAP for some time, then you understand this whole process, because this is a standard process, right? Starting from maintenance notifications, which is also called maintenance requests. And once someone submitted the maintenance request, the supervisor or planner will monitor the maintenance request, and they also do a screening and reviewing. That is a completely optional step. And then the planner will do the required resource planning in the maintenance order, such as your parts, your technicians, your tools. All those resources will be planned on the order. Once the planning is completed, then the order will be printed and hand over the print copies to the technician, right? This printing activity is completely optional if a company is using the mobile or a digital platform. Probably, they may not be printing the work order as a paper copy. And then once the technician have all the detail, he will collect the required part from the warehouse, and he'll complete the work. And once the work is completed, he will capture the time spent against that order, and also he capture the parts consumed for that order. And then he also capture what are the issues he find out, right? What are the causes of that issue, and what kind of damage happened, what kind of activities he performed, and what are the feedbacks he's going to record as part of this work. So all this can be captured, and finally he mark the activities completed and hand over to the planner, right? So planner will review all the order as part of his daily planning process, and he'll make sure all the informations are captured on that order. If he's satisfied with the information captured on the order, then the planner will technically complete the order, and finally the work will be closed. So this is a standard maintenance activity. As I mentioned, if you're a ECC user, you'll be already familiar with this process using the transaction code. But in this demo, because we are using S/4HANA, we are going to see this end-to-end flow using the Fiori applications. All right, so with that, let me jump into the SAP screen. Right, so this SAP logon pad where you can see all the different applications, right? Because this is a standard maintenance process, I capture all the tiles needed to run the end-to-end process in my home screen, right? So there is a My Home. So here you can put the frequently used Fiori tiles, right? So that these are visible to you. You don't have to move around from one group to another group to find out the right Fiori application. So the standard maintenance starts with the request maintenance activity. So in the request maintenance, as you know, that you'll have to either choose equipment or functional location, so that anybody who see this notification understand against what equipment or functional location this request is created. So to do that, click on this button, and you can pick equipment from this list. Let's say in our case, the AC motor is AC motor service is needed, right? So I have selected the AC motor, and here you need to choose the notification type, which you are creating, right? So in this demo, we will be choosing the type M1, which is a common maintenance request. And then you will have to input the description of this issue, say motor service. Or motor service work. You can put the appropriate description there. Then you can also choose the effect of this work. Because this is a regular maintenance activity, most of the time it is not going to affect your production, right? Because you are doing the planning activity to this work. So I choose no effect, right? And again, you can also upload the detailed documentation or the work instruction and attach the document by clicking this button. If you have a user manual or some kind of construction diagram or wiring diagram, the type of detail if you have in the documentation, you can upload and attach to this notification. To do that, you will have to click the upload button. Right, so in our demo, we are not going to upload anything. So we put all the basic information, then click the button submit. So now the notification 204 is saved. This is the work request created. This is the first step. So this activity can be performed, or work request can be initiated by anyone in the company, right? Can be a technician, can be a supervisor, or can be a production manufacturing technician, or any employee, right? Any employee can be submitted a work request. Right, and then the planner is the one who review all the work requests and make sure this is a unique work request, not a duplicate one. And also he will make sure this is a genuine work request before he convert that work request or notification to the maintenance order. To do that, so because this activity is going to be performed by the planner, so I will log out as a technician and log in as a planner, right? To do that, I'm going to sign out because I logged in as a regular employee. So I sign out, and now I'm going to log in as a planner. So to do that, I have a different set of user ID. So here, this is the planner user ID. And I'll also input the password, then I reach the planner Fiori Launchpad. So this is the planner screen. So the planner basically run a transaction, find maintenance notification to find all the list of work requests or notifications submitted by various employees or persons, right? You can also put various filter to see the limited number of notification. So in our case, we don't have any notification. So without adding any filter, we see the notification submitted, right? Motor service work, this is the notification submitted by an employee. So as a planner, he'll just review all the details. To do that, you just click on this button. He'll review all the details and make sure this is a genuine work request, right? And there is no duplicate work request for the same work. So once the planner is comfortable with the detail provided, so the next step, he will add or create order for this notification. To do that, he will check this box. This is the notification checkbox, and click the button Create Orders. So when creating the order, based on the nature of work, the planner can choose what type of maintenance work order he is going to create. As this is a general or a standard maintenance order, the appropriate maintenance order type in this case is a PM01. So he chooses the order type PM01 and click the Create button. So now you see the message at the bottom of the screen. The order 290 with the notification is created. Right. So at this stage, the planner have created the order for the notification or work request, but the planning is not completed yet. He will have to add who is going to do the work and how many hours is required to complete the work and what are the parts required to do the work, right? So these are the basic planning activity to be completed before hand over this work order to a technician. To do that, he will click on this notification. And you see here, there are different options available. Change maintenance notification, create. So in our case, let's click on change maintenance notification. So this is a change maintenance notifications, and here find the assigned order for this notification. So this is the order for this notification created. So click on this order, and the planner will go to the order details screen. So this is the place where the planner will have to plan all the activities, right? To add the required resources on this order, he will have to go to the tab Operation Data. So as I mentioned earlier, first the planner will add the required time and who is going to do the work, right? So first, he will add the person responsible for this work, motor service work. So by clicking that button, he will see all the available resources in the plant and say this is the electrical activity. So he wants electrician to do the work. So he chooses the electrician. So he assigned the work to the electrician. His identifier is number 9. So he added. And then the planner will add how many hours is required to complete the work. So work unit, I put 1 hour, and duration also 1 hour, and a required capacity 1. Required capacity is nothing but number of person needed to complete the work, right? So at this time, the planner have completed the work hour, or who is going to do the work, right? And then he will have to add the parts required to do the work, right? To do that, he'll have to click on the button Materials. And here, the planner will have to add the parts required to do the work. So he understands that, say, a bearing to be replaced. And based on the information provided by the requester, he wants to add the bearing to this order. And he added the material number of the bearing, and he also needs to enter the quantity. How many number of bearing is required to complete the work? So he puts quantity 1, and the bearing number is SP001. So all the basic details are the planning is completed. And then finally, he'll update the status to release, right? Because the technician cannot perform the work if the planner, doesn't set the status release. So the planner set the status release, and then finally save the order. So you can see the messages at the bottom of the screen, order saved with the notification, and the order number and notification number. Right, so now the planning activity is completed, right? And the warehouse clerk can view this order on his Fiori launchpad, and he will issue the bearing and make the bearing ready so that the technician come and pick up the bearing to do the AC motor service work. So now let's log out from the planner screen and log in as an inventory or warehouse clerk so that he can issue the bearing for the work. So let me sign out as a planner. Okay, is now log in as a warehouse clerk. So I have a user ID for a warehouse clerk. So okay, so this is the warehouse clerk screen. He will monitor all the new parts requests, and as soon as the parts are available, he will just issue the part to that order so the technician come and pick up and before do the work. So to do that, let me go back. So to do that, the warehouse clerk will go to the tile called post goods movement. And here he will see the orders and find out which order is required of parts. So our order is motor service. You can also search. So this is the motor service word. So this is the order that we have created just now. So he'll go to that order and click this execute button. Then the warehouse clerk see what part is needed for this work, right? So he will see the bearing is required to do the work. And he'll check whether the bearing is available in the inventory. So he confirmed that it is available. Then he checked this box item OK. And before he click the post button, he'll just check whether there are any errors or issues in SAP. At the bottom, you see the message saying the document is OK, so which means there is no problem. He can issue the parts and he click the button post. Right, now the material document is posted. The bearing is successfully posted to the order, and he will just take the bearing and keep it ready for the technician to come and pick up. Right, now the warehouse clerk part is done. And next, let's log out from this warehouse clerk section and log in as a technician so that the technician can go and perform the work and complete the work. Yes, I sign out, and then finally we will be signing in as electrician because this work is assigned to electrician. Right, so the technician screen is very simple, right? Because the technician always get the work from planner or supervisor. The technician will go and perform the work, right? So he see only just two tiles. So this is the performance maintenance jobs. So he can see all the work, work is assigned to him and his team. And also, he can also find all the open jobs, and he can find only the work assigned to him. So there are various options, right? So let's choose the work assigned to the electrician and also his team. To do that, put mine and mine teams. If you want, very small number of work orders, then you can also put the personal number of the electrician so that he will only see the work assigned to him. Right, you see there are 3 orders assigned to him at this time. And the work that he's going to do now is the motor service work. This is the one that we have created just now in our previous session, right? As a planner, and also the warehouse clerk issue the parts to this order, right? So to do that, he will just select that order operation, and click in this area, and that will show all the detail informations, right? To start the work, the technician will click on this button, start. So work is started. Let's say he picked up the bearing and completed the work. Then finally, he will have to mark this work as completed. And then he needs to record the time, how many hours he spent. And also he'll have to capture all the findings, right? So first let him mark as this work is done, and he can also pass this work, right? For some reason he's waiting for the parts, or he's waiting for the tool. He doesn't have to complete in one step. He can temporarily pass the work, and once he receive all the required parts, later he can resume the work, right, before he completed. But in our case, let's say he had all the detail, all the resources needed to complete the work, and completed the work. Then he clicked the button work done, right? So he marked the work as completed, but he'll have to record the time, how many hours he spent to complete the work. To do that, he click on the button record time. And here, SAP automatically propose the planned work as actual work, but he can change the time. Let's say the work is planned for only 1 hour. For some reason, he take more than an hour to complete this work. Let's say he take 2 hours, right? So he can change the actual work. And if there is no remaining work, he can mark this as a final confirmation, which means there is no remaining work, right? So he put the recordings, he recorded the time he spent, and he clicked the button finally record. Right, now the confirmation or the time confirmation is created, and then he'll go to the component, and because he already consumed it, so for some reason he completed the work without using the part, he can click this button return, so that this pairing can be returned to the inventory. But in this demo, let's say he already consumed the pairing, so he is not going to return it. And then he'll capture the malfunction data, right? So he completed the work. So why this work is performed, right? What kind of issue was there on that motor? So all this detail can be captured as part of this malfunction if required. This is completely optional, right? And malfunction information may not be relevant or applicable in all the cases. If it is relevant, always the technician can click on the add button, and he can capture the damage details. He can also capture what causes this damage. And finally, he can capture what type of activity he performed to complete this service activity. But we are not going to capture anything, but this is an option. The user can capture all the details. So all the informations are captured and everything is done. And now this work is completed by the technician, and finally this work will be reviewed by either planner or supervisor, and they will verify all the information recorded by the technician. If they're happy with all the detail provided, they'll technically complete this order. Let's see that as well, right? So I'm signing out as a technician, and log in as a planner again, right? To do a final verification and close this order. So as a planner, I'll review all the orders by clicking or using this style, find maintenance orders and operations. There are so many orders, 241 orders. So to shortlist that, I just using the filter today. So which means this screen will display only the orders created today, right? So this is our order, motor service work order. So the planner will verify all the details provided by the technician. If all the informations are genuine or good detail or captured, then finally he will set the order status technically completed. Right? He selected order operations and set the status complete technically. And he can also have the option to either close the notification or work request initially created or leave that work request open. So in our case, let's say we also want to close the notification. To do that, we check this check boxes, these both check boxes, and click complete technically. There are some connectivity issue, but these are the steps for the planner or supervisor to use to complete the technically complete the order. With that, let me hand over this to Dan. So this is the end-to-end process. I know it's a bit lengthy, but this is the proper planning and scheduling and work execution and completion. So this is a lengthy process in SAP or any other CMS system.
Senthil, I love how you went from, the technician's point of view and their login screen and the tiles they can see and, to the planner and then to the procurement, MRO procurement or the ones issuing the spare parts back to the crafts person logging in the request. So I think it gives a very good holistic view of the capabilities and some of the functionality associated with that. So thank you very much, Senthil, and thank you everybody for taking the time to participate in the webinar this afternoon. I've listed our contact information on here. If you need anything in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out to Senthil or myself, and we'll be happy to address any needs that you have from a maintenance and reliability standpoint, or coupling those best practices with SAP and some of our expertise in that area. But again, thank you for your time, and look forward to keeping in touch and seeing you on future webinars.
Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.